I'm Shea. And
I'm Shealyn. Happy birthday. I tried to do both. I can't.
You're not good at it.
Did it.
Which is good.
There we go. And I'm not going to keep this crown on my head, but I just wanted to show you that I have happy birthday.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. As today is my birthday as while we're recording. So.
And your birthday film of choice was the Babadook.
Yeah, well, for other reasons too, because Gay Pride Month is June, so it was Babadook, and I'm surprised you didn't know that this is a gay icon now.
I did. I had no idea. I'm very excited. Tell me more about that, because
I think 2017, someone on Netflix accidentally put it in the LGBTQ category. Which then sparked everyone to go, okay.
Yeah. But I mean, the Babadook is a real thing then, right? Because at the end, like, I know it's supposed to also, represent the whole strife between, like, the dead husband who died on the way to the hospital when she was giving birth. And she's still mad about that, even though you're like, it's 7 years later, woman, like, get over it. But I mean, I was telling you, whenever I watch this movie, in the beginning, I'm like, I do not want children ever. Like, the way he's acting, she can't relax. She can't. He's like just this terrible little kid. But then as it progresses, you learn there's reasons why he's like that. And he ends up being such a sweetheart at the end. But, did you see this for the first time recently? Because I remember seeing it when it came out. Oh, okay.
I saw it for the first time before Netflix made it a gay icon. I think in like 2015 I saw it, and and then in 2017 it became what it is, it's about grief. It's about dealing with grief and how your emotions can manifest into bigger things if you're not dealing with it properly, and she never did, clearly, for 7 years. She was upset.
But that's like so messed up, like, I get it, that happens, maybe in the back of your head. Or I kind of understand why she wouldn't want to celebrate his birthday on the day, because she would think about the husband dying. But also, like, the kid didn't do it. It wasn't his fault.
Right.
And I mean, I liked when you mentioned watching this movie because it's mentioned in the newest Scream. She's talking to the new Ghostface calls her, and he's like asking her what is her favorite scary movie, of course. And she's like, oh, I like elevated horror. And she's explaining Babadook and Hereditary, how I feel about that movie. And she goes about the same kind of thing you said, that is about motherhood and grief and all this. And I mean, it's a great movie. It holds your attention the entire time, but it's not something I want to watch all the time or as a comfort movie, because I just get depressed,
Yes. And no, I know it's an Australian film, and I think it's really good. So I guess originally it started off as like a short, like they made a short of it.
Yeah.
The idea, I guess, came. So it wasn't this prolonged, like it's about grief, because in the shorts, it is on YouTube. It doesn't explain. It just says that her son is scared of the dark. And so she goes and is like, okay, you're fine. And then she finds out that there's actually something in the dark.
Yeah.
That he's actually scared of. And so there are scenes where it's like very similar to this movie, and you're like, oh, that scene's in there. Oh, that, but it was such a short that they did not go in depth of, grief and all of that. So,
but the thing is, there is actually a book, and there is actually a Babadook, right? Like, or is it just all like, how did the book get there? Because when he pulls it out, she's like, where'd you get that? From the shelf? But it's like, did she not remember buying it? Like, is it all in her head? But I don't think
that's the whole thing. Is I think it may have been just a story there, but I think it all manifests, and a child's imagination is nuts. This child's imagination is nuts. He creates these little
hers. I feel like it's in her imagination more so.
Yes. But what I'm saying is, I think that he is seeing things too, because he's like, I need to protect my mom. And so he he may have already started having, because kids have nightmares, oh, something's moving in the dark or whatever.
I mean, I have those same nightmares now. What's my excuse? I'm not a
So
child.
then I think that then hers kind of like was already there, and then maybe I mean, I could be wrong, and someone's gonna message us and go, you're fucking stupid.
Yeah, no,
but I
that's
think
why
like his
meant to read about
imagination was
it.
already there with it, and then her grief and her feelings and her emotions kind of took control of that and was like, oh, there is something there, and then it manifested into bigger things.
Yeah. I mean, the Babadook's scary, like, but there are parts of this movie that actually scare me. Like, if you watch this movie in the dark, it's creepy.
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
for
like,
sure. I do like it. I like the jump scares on it. The whole opening scene of her dreaming and the car crash and it's just actually really well done. I just love that whole scene. I'm like, wow, that's really good.
The Babadook. No. He's like, no. Yeah, I mean, at the end though, the fact that they're feeding it and stuff, like, to me, that means it's actually a thing. Or
I think that's a metaphor. Like they're feeding, instead of hiding it away, like, oh, no, I don't feel it. We're going to bottle it down and pretend it's not real. Now it's like we're dealing with it. Yeah. And we know it's there. And we're going to face it. And I mean, granted, they're hiding in a basement, but
with all the dad stuff. Yeah.
With all the dad stuff. So it's like we understand that this is the grief, and so she ends up taking out all of her aggression when the boy starts doing things that maybe the husband did, like hugged her really tight and made a sound, and she freaks out.
Like, don't do that. I'm like, what is her problem?
And he doesn't know.
She didn't want him to try and strangle her. I thought she thought he was trying to kill her or something. Because I think
it was just he started. I don't know. That's a
He's
thing.
A little freaky. He's a little Damien in the beginning, you know, like very. I would check his head for a 666 tattoo. He's acting very wild. We're climbing up the swing set and stuff.
Oh, kids do that shit, but like
not all the way up. Oh
the interesting thing I think is when children start doing things, not because they were shown in that immediate setting or they didn't learn it from someone like their parents, but then maybe certain tastes they have or certain characteristics or mannerisms. It's like you could tell, like, oh, like my dad passed away a long time ago before Maddie got to know him in any way, but then she still like does some things that
for sure
he did, and it was like that always blows my mind, you know.
Yeah, well, no, my own biological father, like, you know, passed away, but my mom would see things in my older brother, like expressions, just like different, and she'd be like, whoa, that is so weird that it's literally, you know, like you can tell you're related in some way. So I get it, but the mom, I mean, like I said, it's 7 years. I'm not saying anybody ever gets over someone passing away. It's very hard. But like to still be taking it out on this kid, and you've got that nice dude at your work who clearly wants to bang. Like, can you just give that guy a chance or something, you know?
Yeah, I just think it's also difficult because she's constantly reminded without dealing with it head on.
Yeah, she needs to see someone like professionally.
Right, definitely. Exactly. Which I think is why the Babadook manifests to begin with, is because she's not dealing with it. She's just hiding it away, pretending it didn't happen. But then the son starts, you know, doing characteristics and doing weird things, and then she starts seeing her husband in the kid, and it's like bringing back all these other memories and all of these other feelings.
Well, then it's freaky because the husband's like telling her to kill the kid, you know, and to kill herself so that they can join him.
Yeah, I think that's probably then survivor's guilt in her mind. Manifest, like it's all about manifestation.
She says that to the kid, which is so terrible. She's like, I wish it would have been you. You know, when she was the Babadook, it wasn't like herself, which I think it was her. She'd always wanted to say that, but like,
like in Hereditary, when the mom explains, like, I didn't want to have kids or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, why do you tell your kid that? Like, why?
Yeah.
Do you do that? Like, that's just messed up.
Yeah, people. I mean, not everyone should have kids, you know, but
well, this is true.
especially if you don't want
But
them.
you don't tell your kid that. You don't tell
No,
your
never.
kid like
But
I
she
didn't
didn't
really
tell him
want
that in
you.
Hereditary. I think that was a dream sequence, right? I don't think she actually said that in Hereditary.
Yeah, I think it was a dream.
Yeah.
But still,
Because that would be really sad.
That would be messed up.
And
but
deep
I'm just
inside,
saying,
he already knew. I think if you have parents like that, they kind of let it known. I was blessed to always have like a mom that really wanted me, so even if I was butthead, she would deal with it. But I think kids who grow up in that setting, they kind of already know that the parents not like.
Yeah. Well, because they made it obvious. It's obvious.
Yeah. Which, like I said, not everyone should have kids. But what's like your takeaway from this movie? Like I said, it bums me out, but it does have a happy ending, right?
It does. A little bit. I mean, I think it's just mostly like if you have issues and you're dealing with stuff, get help. That's what I think it comes down to. Is just there's nothing wrong with talking to somebody and getting help and
otherwise you're gonna get Babadook.
The Babadook is gonna come and murder you and tell you to kill everybody.
And child services is almost going to take your child. I like that at the end though, where like they're still freaking out the child service people. He's like, I broke her nose in 2 places talking, and she's like, it's fine. But at first they, were seeing what was going on and we're going to take him away from her, which might have been a good thing because I feel like she was right about to murder him. But luckily it didn't get to that point because that would be a whole different movie. Bummer.
How many Babadooks do you give it?
I'm gonna say 3.5.
I agree with that one. Yeah, I would say 3.5. I mean, because it's good. I don't know if this isn't Jaws. You don't watch it all the time.
Exactly.
This is
because you'll be depressed.
I watch it and go, that was interesting, and then it haunts you for like a few days.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, I don't need to watch this for another year or two.
Yeah, like I said, I think I'd watched it when it came out, and then I rewatched it. And I'm like, okay, I'm good. Like I've seen this movie. Don't need to constantly think about it. But
yes,
that's good. Very great story.
Yeah, the scene in the car, like it, and then that meme, it just drives me nuts. Like I just can't. I want to reach in and just smack the shit out of the kid, where he's like screaming.
Oh my gosh, that's the worst. And that's coming when she's like, why can't you be normal? And then he just screams. And I've seen children like that in real life, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Maddie did that one time in a thrift store.
Oh no.
And I dragged her out. She grabbed the pole. I was like mortified. I was like, oh my god.
Well, but that's what you have to do. You have to take them outside. Like that's my pet peeve. No one's a perfect parent, whatever, but like seeing that happen in a restaurant and then they just let their kid scream, and I'm like, why am I in misery because your kid and you suck? Like, get this kid out of here. But
take the kid outside, like, give them a timeout.
No, this lady was just sitting there. Maybe she was about to lose it because she was just sitting there and like letting her little girl scream, and I think maybe she just couldn't get up and take her out. This lady was like, it was probably a cry for help now that I think of it. Okay, you agreed with me for what?
I did. Well, I agree with you sometimes, but yes, I agree with you on this one. Just simply because it.
He's saying happy birthday.
Babadook.
Babadook. Like that.
So follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, like, subscribe, share. Rate us on Apple and Spotify and wherever you listen to podcasts or our show or whatever. Hell, make comments on YouTube. We listen, we watch, we read that stuff. Until next time.
And happy birthday.
Thank you. Enjoy the Babadook.
Nerd.
Are you eating cereal or ice cream? What are you eating?
Yogurt.
Oh, neither one of my options.
Close.
I have a ring light on.
I don't know. You can't wear glasses.
I have to wear glasses or I can't see.
Why are you reading?
Well,
you can't see me.
the screen. Yeah, because then you're blurry, and I'm like, I can't even understand. That's gross. I can see that you open your mouth and there's white stuff in it. That's disgusting. Thank you. I can see that.
Disgusting.